Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. There are several people from Shiloh who are frontline workers, and you will be hearing the stories of some of those workers today. Interviewing them will be our very own Sister Carol. Frontline workers have impacted our communities in ways they probably will never know. They have made such a huge difference to all of us, for all of us, during this pandemic. So, on behalf of Pastor Joel, myself, and the Shiloh Holiness Church, we just want to say thank you to all of the frontline workers. We love and truly appreciate you. And we just pray the Lord will bless you and your families for the many sacrifices you have made for all of us during this time. And for those of you who are watching, I hope that you'll enjoy.
This is an opportunity for us as a church to not just hear your story, but to celebrate you guys, to celebrate the work that you do, to celebrate the choices you've made in this line of work, and to say thank you, because I'm sure you don't hear that often enough. Thank you. Uh,
No,
we we value you, we appreciate you, and your work is so essential, so necessary. We'll start off with you, Sister Margaret, if you don't mind. Share a little bit about your work.
oh, you mean what I do? I work in environmental services, better known as housekeeping.
Okay.
Well, what I do is I sanitize like the rooms and stuff like that to make sure that no infection is
Oh yeah.
spread around the hospitals.
That's good.
And that is, especially now, that's really important. If
Yes,
you
yes.
if you don't if you don't do your job properly, then oh, it's trouble, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so your job is very important. Very important. Sister Charlene, how about you?
I'm a personal support worker. I do in-home care, and some on some occasions I do home support work because in home the clients, they're vary in regards to their needs.
Yeah.
So I work with an agency in the Ottawa area here, and I go from different client home to homes and help them with their activities of daily living. Sometimes it's just to be there to supervise them, taking a bath, or just to have someone physically there
Hmm.
when they're doing certain things for themselves, that in case they fall or there's an accident, or for some whatever reason there has that support. In some cases it includes some housework, some housework. Some clients I do their grocery, I go with them with before COVID, because seems like these days everything is answered before COVID.
Mhm.
I haven't been able to do that since, but I go with them to their doctor's appointment, or if they have to go out, just that someone, because a lot of them live on their own, or they have family members who it's there, but they have other work that they do. So they just need that extra presence there, or that relief in regards to me being there to help them with that support so they can have a break
Hmm.
in regards to certain.
I don't think we think as often as we should about people who are alone. So
Yeah.
that is wow. For you to brave that element, to be going and serving people who are by themselves and who
Yeah,
need.
I have some clients that I on a weekly basis. I have the same clients. They try to keep you with the
Yeah.
same, the same people, so they have, they get used to you. So there's not too many different people coming in. So since COVID, I have clients in, varies from in their late 40s to in their 90s.
Oh wow.
It's a variation of different people and what their needs are.
Hmm.
And on some occasion, I'm the only person who they see once a week
Wow.
in, since all this happening. So yeah, you have to be careful. And for me personally, in regards to my out once work is finished, my interaction outside for myself and for my clients, because if I'm the only person there, then so I have to think in terms of that too, not just my own physical safety.
Of course. That's a lot of pressure. Wow.
Mhm.
Jillian, tell us about your work.
Well, I'm a nurse and I work in a retirement living, retirement home.
Mhm.
And my retirement home is not like a typical retirement home. Like, I mean, it's not just independent residents. We go from independent, but then we go down to severe dementia, lockdown units. And we also have palliative as well. If they do end up getting, worse while their time is there, we don't send them anywhere. We just pretty much take care of them there. And like, we do have nurses from outside who will be with them one-on-one if that's what they need.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And it's tough. It's tough dealing with that, because I mean, we have a lot of measures in place from since COVID started.
Mm-hmm.
We had to we all go according to public health now, because everything that happens when public health says something, the retirement homes or even long-term care has to abide by what they say. So in the beginning, we were letting some people in, but then after, when we hit certain stages, we just said, nope, no family, no family, no friends, no, anybody. Like, even we do have some nurses who is from agency or personal support workers who come to take care of the residents, if they have extra care, but we even limit that. So that was a lot of work onto our staff, extra work.
Wow. So overnight, your workload increases. The things that you didn't think you needed to remember from nursing school, from
Trust me, it increased a lot. Honestly, it did.
Oh, boy.
Because it's like every shift, we as nurses, we have to imagine you have a building full of people and you have to take everybody's temperature.
Yeah.
Like every shift, morning, evening, overnight. It's a lot.
Wow.
Including what you have to do as a nurse. So
wow, that's next.
Every time they pass, you're running around with a thermometer in your hand, like, say stop.
Oh, God.
I need to take your temperature. So it's funny, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
So that's what
Now, how about you? Tell us about your work.
Well, at the start of the pandemic, I was a PSW in a long-term care home.
Oh, wow.
But I since then have become a nurse, and I've worked at like not quite a hospital, but kind of a hospital. It was like a long-term care meets hospital place. And now I'm working in the Heart Institute.
Okay. We talk about essential workers, frontline workers, and sometimes I have to wonder, do our essential workers think themselves as essential workers? Do you ladies see yourselves as highly needed, as we could not get through this thing without you? Do you see yourselves as that?
Yes, we do.
Sister Margaret does. And Sister Margaret does. I'm seeing Jillian's face right now.
Well, for me, I don't know. For me, when I was looking through these questions, for me, it's nice to, I know we are, but I don't really see myself in that. I just see myself just doing, what I love to do. That's, and just taking care of my, what I'm put there to do. You know what I mean? I don't see myself. I know for example, the residents, they always tell us like, you guys are really appreciated and everything. And it's nice to hear it, but I just feel like I'm just doing what I'm there to do, and, making sure everybody's safe and they're okay, and their loved ones know that they're, in good hands. That's how I look at it, pretty much. I
see Sister Charlene nodding her head.
Well, as you can see, we're all working different levels of the healthcare field, and I'm the one who, my part is I'm out in the public, going to different homes, and so, and it's, I love what I do, because I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't. Sure, I had stopped doing it for a while, but I got back into it because there was something missing. But we're essential, but it just became, it was more recognized after COVID that people appreciate more what you do. So it's just for us, we just go and we do what we have to do because we love doing it and we love taking care of people. But then when all of this happened, then people see how valuable we are in regards to
I agree.
the little things that you may take for granted, that everyone takes for granted, that we're out there doing it for someone. You know, like I said, my job description, there's sometimes I have to do some housework and some home care. I do shopping for the person who goes every Friday or every weekend to do their grocery shopping, the able-bodied person. That was just simple daytime routine or weekly routine that you go through. But for an older person or for someone who's physically limited in what they can do or they cannot get out there, just being able to, for me to go to the grocery store and bring them back enough food for them to have for a 2 weeks, depending how their shopping schedule is on my schedule. It's so much appreciated. And because if I don't do it, or if I don't get the opportunity to do it, that person can be in their home for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without nothing to eat.
Wow.
So it's, you know, then this happened, and then people are seeing like, yeah, they, you know, it may look like something simple that we're doing, or some people might describe you not as essential. But then this happened, and it was like, yeah, we appreciate what these people are doing, because it makes life so much better for the person that you're doing it for. It's just a simple thing.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
100%. Because when before I was a nurse, I was same a PSW as well. And I used to do community, and I loved it. I loved being out there, like working outside, like, different, moving around. I didn't like to really be in one spot. And the same thing, I used to do whatever, is necessary for, to help out that individual. And it's so funny that you brought that up about, they're in their home. Some of them they don't want to go, they love where they live. So they don't want to go into, whether it's a long-term or retirement home. So, it's always nice to have somebody, and sometimes their family lives so far away. I even see families live so far away that they can't even, it takes them hours to get to them. So, by them even having the PSW come in, and just interact with them, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, it's like they appreciate it so much, that you might even think yourself, you're just thinking, oh, I'm just there, but they appreciate it so much. And a lot of them, they thank you for it. Even when Christmas time comes, I remember I used to get so many cards from the family to say, thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing for, whether it's my mom or my dad, or, or even the client themselves. So it's really, it's a nice job to have, when, especially in that sense, when you're talking about like a PSW who moves around, or even nurses who move around, it's so much, I find it so much more interesting rather than just being one spot, even though it's good, but I like the moving around aspect of it.
Like since this happened, I had one experience, and I was going to my client, and there were some old, they live in an older community, and there were some people a couple just sitting outside of their door, just in Belfast in the summer, enjoying the sunshine. And I got out my car, and I had to pass there where they were, and I said good afternoon, and they said good afternoon, and I did what I did with my client, and I came back. Well, then they happened to still be sitting there, and the older gentleman said, "Are you a support worker?" I said, "Yes." And he's like, "Thank you for your service." It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It wasn't someone I was going to. It was just a random person in the neighborhood. And I was like, the thing is, like, most time people say thank you to your service, for your service to military people, or someone in that capacity. And this was just a neighbor telling me, "You guys are doing a really good job out there. Thank you for your service." And I was like, wow.
That's awesome.
And that was something that makes you feel that when this happened, not just your client, that the public and the people and the powers that be saw that what we're doing is important for the people, for their, to keep them in their homes. A lot of my clients, like I said, I have different range and different limitations, and they feel much better being in their home than being put in an institution or being in a nursing home or a retirement home. And that's a comfort to them, and that's a comfort for their family. They get to stay in their home for as long as they can. So that's why, my job, and for all the other people out there who does my job, is so important to the people that go to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm thinking now more specifically about that aspect of putting your life at risk. right? The fact that you go out there every day and you are on, you're interacting with the very thing that everybody is being shut out of, right? You're putting your lives at risk. I want to, Mel, I'm going to start with you. How does that speak to you? What does that say to you?
Well, I come from the perspective of having actually caught COVID as a result of working on the front lines. Back when I was a PSW at the long-term care facility. So that was a wake-up call. But when I accepted the job, I accepted it during the pandemic. So I knew what the risk was and I knew what I was going into. And it was rough. That was one of the hardest choices I'd made. I spent an entire sleepless night just basically crying because I knew that taking this job would mean potentially, at the worst case scenario, dying. But after I had that one night of just processing it and knowing that this is the direction God wanted me to go, it's like I accepted it. And I started working there, and yeah, and within 2 weeks, it's like my nightmare came true. I caught COVID. And then like nowadays, it's kind of, it feels weird knowing that I've already gone through that. And every time I'm asked to go somewhere that has an active COVID case or is in an outbreak, it's like I'm reliving a trauma of, oh my God, I'm going back to that.
Wow.
So it's like reliving trauma.
Yeah, that's a real reality.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing that in spite of the fact that you've had that experience, you go back. You still, you don't, that speaks volumes. That's huge. And for all of you, that's a huge thing to know. In fact, I've heard a nurse, refer to working in the healthcare industry during a pandemic as being on the front line of a battle, like being, she called it being on the battlefield. And I think that's a very vivid picture and real picture of what it is, doing this kind of work, being an essential worker. And I want to know from you guys, like, does that resonate with you? Is that something that speaks to you? Do you feel the same way? Or what is going to work like for you on the everyday? Sister Margaret, what's going to work on the everyday like for you?
Well, as she said, it's like a battlefield. When you go there, you have to be all prepared with your PPE and everything before you can enter that room. And then when you get in there, it's like you're the mother, the father, the preacher, everybody, when you get in there.
Wow. Wow.
Because for those exactly that are on quarantine, like they haven't see anybody. Once in a while, they might see anybody. Unless they ring the bell. If nothing is wrong with them, they wouldn't go in and, they wouldn't go in. So unless, you need, they need somebody, actually need somebody, then they wouldn't ring the bell. But with us, when we go inside there, we spend a long time inside there to clean. So we actually talk with them about the family, the friends, and keep them company, you can say.
That's wonderful. So this work calls you then to do above and beyond what you would normally do.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I think that's a gift.
Because I know for the past couple of days I've been counselor. Well, when I walk I sing. So when I walk I sing. But when you go in and so how are you today? I'm so depressed. I don't know, I have to say, okay, think, okay, like tomorrow will be greater, and, and speak to them, give them encouraging words. It's like I say, oh my goodness, I'm preaching again.
Well, like you said, you become mother, father, pastor.
Everything.
I think that's awesome that you get to do all that you get to be all that. And I don't think it's an accident that God would have you there for such a time as that, right? It's not like you're doing this out of nothing. You have a relationship with God, you have a walk with God, so you can share
Yes.
And then, like, if we take, for example, the season that we're in now, in Advent, you can share hope, you can share love, you can share joy, you can share peace, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. And do you find that you're doing a lot of that, like that you're sharing out of your own walk with God?
Yes, I am.
That's God. That's good. That's awesome. Actually, it's funny because that's kind of one of the questions is I wanted to know, how do you stay positive? How
I
do
told
you?
you, I always sing.
Yes.
I always sing when I'm working. I'm in the hallway. I'm singing. It's too bad I can't dance. I would have danced in the hallway. But I always sing when I'm working. And then some of them, when they hear me sing, they would want to know, okay, what are you singing about? And then I'll tell them what I'm singing about.
That's beautiful. We're gonna have to raise a melody for you. What is it? Victory in Jesus?
No, Greater Tomorrows.
Greater Tomorrows. All right. Yes, we're gonna have to make a note of that and sing that one especially for you. Man. What about you, Sister Charlene? How?
For me, I pray a lot. Because I do it every day because we're out there. When this happened, I remember I thought of it like I'm not making light of professional, but I felt like there's a building that is burning, and we're running towards the building, and everyone else is running out.
Wow.
Because despite everything that was happening, you still, and it's the choice we make in regards to our jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even before the pandemic, people are sick, and there's some things with them that is contagious. So you still have to be, like I said, my company, my agency, it's 100% about protection and preventative measures. So it wasn't that hard to transition into being and doing what I need to do to protect myself and my client in the COVID time, because it's something that is always instilled in us about our job before COVID.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. So a bit of a lighter question, and I'm asking you all, and we'll start with Jillian. If you could respond first. What do you do to de-stress at the end of a workday?
Go home and sleep.
I'm hearing some. It sounds like everyone's in agreement. Okay, we can move on to the next question.
No. Seriously, when I come home, the first thing as I said, this is the way how I de-stress is like the first thing I do is like take off all that stuff, in the hamper, shower, then I just sit down and I just talk to my husband about my day, about what happened. Okay. That de-stresses everything because I just like there's always things that happen like at my my workplace because we have so much things going on. As I said, if it's not people going out to the hospital, they're coming back, and then isolation, and then all these different, like we just pray to God it's less than 3 days because honestly, isolation, it's a lot. It's just when they're in there. Okay, we have, as I said, we have patients who has dementia. So imagine having to keep a person who have dementia in a room for 14 days. That's all I can say. I just say, Jesus, Lord, give me strength. That's all I say when I go in. I'm like, oh no, because it's like constantly, you're doing something and you're no matter, because the PSWs, they're so busy and you're trying to medicate, but you're trying to help them out too. So your eyes are like, you have to have eyes in the back of your head. So I'm telling him about, and he's just like, he just shakes his head like, that's what he says. Like, I don't know what to say. So I think that helps. Like just talking about it and, just letting them know what I went through and just relax and just, there's something funny to laugh about, or because it sometimes is funny, when they just say, let me out, I'm tired of this room, And if the funny thing is, you would feel that way if you were cooped up in a room for 14 days, And even though people bring you, but same thing, was a sister?
Charlene?
Charlene, yeah. She said, it's like you're the only one they're seeing within those 14 days. So it's like, whether it's the PSW or the nurse or that's it. They have nobody else. So you have to talk and try to make them laugh and try to make it lighter. So it's just like, that's my de-stress. I come home, I just throw out all those clothes and put them in the hamper to wash, and I don't know. And then after I fall asleep.
Wow.
Because honestly, it is stressful. It's very stressful. So you just need to just talk out your stuff and your problems and just take a nap, whether it's a cat nap, and then I'm okay.
Mel, you look like, yeah, that's check, biggest check.
Yeah, the only difference I'd say is I make sure to put my feet up and wear some comfortable pajamas, drink some water.
Trust me.
Yeah. Maybe like read something or watch something before I go to bed, just to like make a separation between work and the end of the day.
Okay, so it sounds good. Sister Margaret, what about you? How do you de-stress?
Oh, me? Well, before I leave work, I think I was distressed before.
Okay, you've got to.
No, I don't do my stress at work.
I heard that it's like when you leave the building.
Yeah, I change my clothes. I change my clothes, and then I take up another guy. Leave that place. That's it.
Yeah, about that we don't even register the fact that you guys are always like your work dictates that you are like loaded to the nines.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to, those of us who don't work in your line of work only have to wear a mask and maybe a face shield, but you guys have to be loaded down. That's another layer of burden that you guys have to endure. That's
true.
Yeah.
But before the pandemic, normally I would use a mask and a face shield. If I come into your room and I hear you start to cough, I put in a mask and a face shield before that. So before I go in, even though there is no precaution inside.
Give me a minute, I'll be back. Just one second, okay.
Slap a sign on the door. Everyone wear masks.
Okay, I'm ready now. What are you saying?
Margaret, you come in, you hear the cough, you turn around and
yeah.
That's like before.
What were you gonna say?
Before the pandemic, I know if you sneeze out in public, or if you just have a cough, people will say, "Bless you, have a good day."
No,
I know. Unfortunately, in this time, if that happened, everyone is ready to climb that 16-feet wall and get out of your space. It's like, oh, somebody just cough. And
on Friday I had a coughing fit on the bus, but it's me and the driver that was on the bus. She said, I was coming on the bus, I was almost here and sitting until they called me and I answered the phone. I answered the phone and then the cough take me. I swear, the driver almost put me on the bus.
Oh my God.
I was just waiting for the driver to say, get up the bus.
Oh my gosh.
and that's the part, because you're at work and things happen. You may be doing something and you get a whiff of something, or you just have that little, it's nature, you just have that little, itching in your nose, and you going about your day and you can feel a sneeze is coming on, and the ones that when you have it is like, oh, I needed that, but you have to keep on back,
everybody turning around and watching you.
You have to try and control it, because you don't want to hear someone hear you cough or sneeze. It has nothing to do with the pandemic, but it's just your body needs to get that. Oh, thank you, Lord. My lungs are feeling better for that cough.
Thank you to you, but not thank you to them.
And people, you weird. It's funny.
Wow, it's true. The things we take for granted. I don't know about you ladies, but I know when I sneeze and I cough today, it doesn't matter if my nose, just as you said, there's an itch in my throat or a tickle in my nose. I'm thinking twice, is it safe to sneeze? Is it safe to cough?
The good thing, it was me and the bus driver alone that was there from Tunis Pasture. We was on the bus for a while, so I wasn't coughing, but as I answered the phone, the cough thing.
Oh my
You should
God.
have started with that, because I honestly thought like the bus pulled over and they were gonna tell me like
No. We were on the bus, me and the bus driver alone from Tunis Passage Street all the way by even here. And then Sister Natalie called me and then I answered the phone and then, oh my goodness, I started to cough. And I couldn't stop coughing.
no. Oh, God. Well, ladies, this has been lovely. This has been a wonderful conversation. I don't know how you feel about it, but I know it's been, on my end, just hearing your stories and sharing a laughter with you has been fun. And I hope that you have been able to take some joy out of this, and some just some joy, and that you feel acknowledged and that you feel loved. Even though it's just me speaking, I am speaking on behalf of Pastor Joel, Sister Natalie, the entire Shiloh family, that we love you guys. We appreciate you. We are so blessed that you are part of the Shiloh family. And it's wonderful to be able to speak with you about your work. And we want to encourage you. Keep going. We're with you. We're praying for you. We're just so glad that, again, that you have chosen to do this work, that you said yes, and that you keep saying yes. We love you for it.
It's scary.
You're here, and I
don't know if everybody feel the same way. Like for me, at my work, because of the fact that it's not so open like a hospital, that there's different people going in and out. Okay. Like when it comes, like, when as I said, I was looking at these questions again, I'm saying, for me, I don't know, like, being scared or being, I'm not scared when it comes to this pandemic, which is interesting. I just feel like same thing. I just have faith that I know, we're going to get through this and everything like that. I just feel like, because of the fact that, you just keep doing the same routines, just taking care of yourself, making sure you sanitize, like all these things that you learn, like when you're in school, like for example, in healthcare, regardless of if you're a nurse or a PSW, you learn all these different ways to keep yourself safe. And when you're out there, you don't know what is happening, so it's just like, you just keeping yourself safe, and as I said, sanitize, when you go in somewhere, you just have to just follow certain measures. And I feel like, and to have faith, you're going to come out okay, and that's just how I look at it, things like bottom line, because as I said, knock on wood, I'm so happy. My facility, we haven't had since COVID started, we have never had any cases at all. And because, we just stepped up what we've been doing already. So I just feel like, when it comes to everybody, I just feel like everybody just should just go out there. And it's like, if you just keep I see the people who's like, so, COVID, like they, things happen so much faster. Just have faith that, things will be okay. And, you just keep doing what you're doing before all this. And I think things would, everybody will get by. That's how I see it when I'm looking at the pandemic in general.
Okay. When this thing is all over, where do you plan to vacation? And I'll start with you, Sister Margaret, since you sounded like, yep, you were ready to answer.
Yeah, I need a vacation. And then when I come from the vacation, I need a vacation to recover from that vacation.
All right, so tell us the first destination, and then we'll work on the next one.
Double up.
I'm going home.
Where?
Home.
Can you tell everybody?
I'm going to Grenada.
Huh?
Grenada.
Whoa.
So your choice spot is Grenada. I don't know why we needed to ask you, because we really didn't. We know where you're going. Mel, what about you?
I want to go to Bruce Peninsula in Ontario, but if I were to fly somewhere, probably Greece.
Ooh, that's nice. Yes. I just learned about Bruce Peninsula on Thursday.
Ooh,
it is
beautiful.
No, I'm going to look that up. I don't know.
You best look it up. It's beautiful.
What is it, Bruce? What is it, Bruce Peninsula?
Bruce Peninsula, yeah.
Yes, it is. From the pictures, it is lovely.
So it's in Ontario. It's got teal blue clear water, and caves and a lot of hiking trails.
Nice. Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah. I was definitely sold when I was I was like, oh yes, I'm planning.
Yes. I want to go camping there. That would be so cool.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Sister Charlene, how about you? Where is your vacation spot when this is all over?
For me, there's maybe two of them, back home to visit my brothers and sisters and Grenada.
For those who don't know where back home is.
back home is Guyana. And secondly on the list could be Grenada, to take a trip and just rewind, unwind. And I think we need it. I haven't, honestly, since this thing started, I didn't get any vacation. You don't have the time to take the time off because you need it every day, every
Yes,
minute of every hour.
that's
So
true. You can't
so
even take time off.
when you're able to do, have the opportunity to do it again. I think there's a lot of people out there who's just gonna like, it doesn't even have to get on a plane and travel somewhere. Just go somewhere in Canada, like Sister Mel says, or anywhere, just somewhere to collect yourself and rethink 2020.
Yep.
Amen to that. And Jillian, what about you? Where's the vacation spot?
I don't even know. I want to travel definitely to. I would like to go to two places if I ever. I would like to go to an island that I haven't traveled before. I've traveled to a few, so I would definitely like to go to Bahamas. I really want to go to Bahamas. Like I see it's really a beautiful place. Nice tourist place. And then after, as I would just definitely like, because my husband haven't seen his family for a while, so I would like to see my in-laws, the first that seeing them. So I would definitely like in Africa. So
where is that?
Nigeria.
Okay.
So I would definitely, so I would definitely.
Igbo state?
Huh?
Igbo?
If it's Yoruba. Yoruba.
He's Yoruba.
That's from Lagos State. So I heard Lagos is very.
Delta State, which one? Igbo or Delta?
What it is?
Igbo or Delta State you want to go?
I don't know. I want to go to Lagos. So Lagos, I heard is very beautiful. So that's where I want to go for sure. And it's a long flight, so definitely, I don't know. I gotta pull out some blankets, pillows, everything. So it's a long flight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my relaxation stuff right now. But we can't do that anytime soon right now because.
Hey, you still plan for it. You plan for it because you don't know where 2021 will take us. And God, I'm sure, still has some amazing things for us to enjoy. Well, enjoy your Christmas. And
Thank you.
to everyone watching, Merry Christmas and a great start to 2021. We look forward to all that God has in store for all of you. All right. Good night, ladies, and thanks again.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.